Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Hoven of Ramos Law and your host for Health Matters. Today, talking about one of my favorite things in the world, the chiropractic adjustment. What's that popping sound? We're going to talk about it right now. Have you ever been sitting next to someone, or maybe this was you, and you turn your head and you move it around and you hear pop, 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 and you're like, wow, what was that? Well, we call that in chiropractic a cavitation. Now, cavitation is a $2 word that essentially means gas comes out of a joint. But what people often think of when they think of that sound is they think of the joint being popped or cracked. And when you think of something being popped or cracked, you might think that it's actually the bones rubbing together. But interestingly, it's not. So whenever, and it's just like this, when your knuckles, if you pull your knuckles and you hear the popping sound, it's the same sound. So what is that? It's actually gas coming out of a fluid. I'll explain it like this. If you've ever taken a can of soda pop, when you open it, what do you hear? Psh, you hear that sound. And what that sound is that's pressure equalizing from inside the can to the outside air, meaning there's more pressure in the can. So as you release the pressure, there has to be an equalization with the outside so that sound gets made. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happens in the body. So if we were to look at spinal joints and take a look at them, it's not bone on bone. Rather, it's a bone, and then it's a ligament, and then another bone, and in between that section, in that space, is fluid. Well, in that fluid, when we take the joint and we move it into a certain range called the passive physiological range, and then we go just a little bit farther to a place called the paraphysiological zone, when we go into that, the gas that's in there that's building up, it just and it redissolves into solution. And it's that releasing that makes that sound. So I just wanted to assure you, because I get asked that all the time, what's the popping sound? So I want to assure you, it's not bone on bone, it's not things cracking and breaking, it's literally the release of gas inside that joint and going back into solution. That's why if you adjust a spinal segment or even a knuckle, you can't just go back and make the sound again because the gas hasn't had a chance to recollect. So that's why you'll hear it once and then you won't hear it again for a little bit. So it's nothing bad. In fact, it's very good when done correctly. And being a chiropractor myself, working here at Ramos Law and talking with chiropractors all over the place in multiple states, it's a beautiful thing. We call it the sound of healing. Now, it needs to be done well. It's not something that you do on your neighbors. You don't jump off picnic tables. You don't get crazy with it. But when it's applied well, that sound, I like to call it the sound of healing. Now, of course, there's so much more depth that we could go to this in chiropractic in general and mobilization and manipulation, but I hope that gives you a little understanding of what the sound is. And of course, if you have any questions, reach out to me. You can reach me at jim@ramoslaw.com. And if this was helpful for you, send it to a friend. I know TikTok videos are huge of chiropractors doing adjustments. Now you know when you hear that sound what that is. Maybe send this to all your TikTok friends and give them the education behind what they're seeing. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember, for us at Ramos Law, your health matters.